As we all know, a ton of people collect comic books, and these comic books can range from hundreds of dollars to millions of dollars for one comic book itself. But what if I told you there are also magazines that your parents used to read, and even maybe you used to read as a child, currently selling for hundreds of thousands of dollars? That's right, six-figure sums. And my goal is to get my hands on the oldest, most expensive and most controversial magazine out there, the first ever edition of the Playboy magazine. But there's one big problem. This magazine is extremely rare to find. If we take eBay first, if you search through eBay, there has never been one of these magazines sold on eBay in eBay's entire history. What is that, like a 20-30 year history? And at the time of recording this video, there are none listed. So none listed and none sold. In fact, after doing a bit more research and Googling around, most sales data I could find was from local auction houses pre-COVID, or just private deals that have taken place. So this is definitely going to be a challenge. Now you're probably wondering, what was the first ever magazine produced by Playboy and how special or controversial is it? Well, published in December 1953 by Hugh Hefner, this magazine sent shockwaves across America. In fact, it redefined pop culture with the emphasis it put on sexuality and nudity. Whether you agree that is good or bad, it changed American culture itself. The first ever Playboy magazine featured an iconic cover of Marilyn Monroe and also had a nude photo of Monroe inside, and this nude photo became one of the most iconic pictures ever published by the magazine. What makes the story so much more interesting is Monroe actually never posed for Playboy itself. Hefner had used images Monroe had taken in 1949, so 4 years prior, that Monroe had took when she was cash-strapped. Monroe had even taken these pictures under a fake name called Mona Monroe to try stay anonymous, and in that photo shoot she did, she was only paid $50. Hefner paid $500 for the rights to this nude photo and published it as the first ever nude centerfold photo to go in the first ever Playboy magazine, and he named Monroe Sweetheart of the Month. Now the first ever magazine published by Playboy didn't even have a date on it. No date, no version number, because Hefner didn't even know if it was gonna be a success. But to his surprise, the magazine actually took America by storm just because of how boundary defying it was, and it sold out. Hefner had produced 70,000 copies and they were gone straight away. America couldn't get enough of it, and the rest is history, again, whether good or bad. Now, despite 70,000 copies being produced, only 500 are on record as still in existence, and that's what makes this magazine extremely rare to find. It's a new day and it's time to begin the hunt for the oldest, most expensive and most controversial magazine out there, the 1953 Playboy V1 edition. So the obvious thing to do is just to start on eBay. I know we talked about there's never been one sold on eBay or listed, but it's a new day. Maybe a new listing has popped up with the magazine, and that will make this video really quick and easy. Now when scrolling, I came across a ton of 2014 reprints which Playboy did of the extremely rare 1953 V1 magazine, but unfortunately, we had no luck for the real thing. Let's also try our luck with the terms Playboy Rookie, maybe that will spark something. But again, after countless scrolling, no luck. This was about to get tough, and I'm starting to question if I even care enough to own this magazine. But then the wise words of Ken Golding came to me: pop culture is the future of collectibles. This magazine is as pop culture as it gets, and I must own a copy. It's a piece of history. It's now time for plan B, the drastic measure. Now I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I consider myself quite the vintage card collector. There's something about uncovering a card which is like 100 years old and not being able to find it anywhere, just going on the hunt to find this unknown card, this extremely rare card, which could be 100, 150 years old. This is something that I do time and time again when it comes to sports cards, so I'm used to trying to find extremely rare items. Now the place to do all of this is on Instagram, direct deals, just through finding people's Instagram pages and talking to them. Now back when I was trying to keep my card collecting secret and I didn't have a big public YouTube channel with my face on it, I had a a undercover Instagram account which I used to showcase my card collection and reach out to other collectors to find different items. So we're gonna log back in and say hello to some old friends and see what we can find. My tactic was simple. Number 1, start searching for comic book dealers or stores on Instagram. Number 2, stalk their page, give it a little browse and see what type of comic book items they have. Number 3, just DM a shit ton of these pages asking if they knew where I could find a copy of the Mystic Playboy 1953. And the hunt began. I spent hours on hours searching, researching and DMing. I mean, the truth is the actual process took days, but after days of searching I saw light. I saw light at the end of a deep dark tunnel. So I've come across this comic book store in Watford and they have a copy of the 1953 Playboy magazine. The only problem is it's a 0.5 CGC graded item, so that's the lowest you can get because it has pages missing inside. Now I've spoke to the owner and well, the front cover's intact, so you've got the Monroe front cover icon right there. And the nude photo of Monroe is also in the magazine. It hasn't been ripped out, so the pages missing aren't that substantial to the overall magazine. The only other issue is they want $2,500. Now when I set this challenge, grade was never a problem for myself. It was all about owning a piece of history. But when it comes to price, I have no idea about a price comparable. There is just hardly any data on this item. $2,500 is a lot of money and it's an unknown amount. I don't know if I'm overpaying or getting a bargain, so we're gonna have to think about this one for a bit. So it's actually been a week since the last clip because I've been in Madeira, the home of CR7, just on holiday, and I've had some time to think during that week. You know, $2,500 was a lot of money, and you know what, I'm going to pull the trigger. We're gonna follow through with the video, with owning this piece of history. But first I need a discount. We need to see if we can get that price down. Now trying to find a fair price is really hard. There's zero market data on eBay, and additionally all the data I can find from auction houses is completely out of date. You know, you're talking 3, 4, 5 years old. That data just isn't usable in 2024. However, from the Ropey auction data we do have, I think a CGC 9 would have sold for about $20,000 about 4 years ago. But again, that was like 3 years ago. And recent estimates put this magazine now at $50,000 plus. But then again, there's no sales in the past few years to also corroborate that. Nevertheless, if you don't ask, you don't get. So you know what? We're just gonna ask for a better price straight off the bat. I always refer to a Fred Perry 1930 Fred Perry card I brought I say ages ago, it wasn't that long ago, but the seller wanted $1,000 for this card. I said, would you take $100? And they said yeah. So you know what, if you don't ask, you don't get, and let's just see what happens. I'm going to see if they will take $1,000. So we're talking a 50% discount here. So let's wish me some luck. So it's the end of the day and we still haven't had a reply, but might take more than a day to respond, so that's fine. Day 2 and still no reply. This is day 3 and still no reply. I'm starting to get a bit nervous. Day 4 and still no reply. So you know what? We're just gonna send a chaser and see what happens. We are currently on day 9 and I've got some bad news. Unfortunately, the video just went exactly how we planned. Here we go, here it is. In this box is the moment we've all been waiting for. The first ever Playboy magazine 1953 V1 Marilyn Monroe edition. I mean, I hope it's in here. For all I know, this could be an empty box. So you know what? We're gonna unbox it together. This is a bit of a weird setup for me. I feel like a professional YouTube unboxing person, the way the camera's set up, but $1,000 this cost me. So if you're watching this video, you better subscribe for this one because this has been a very expensive video. The first thing we need, we need some scissors or something to cut it open with. Oh, a bit nervous. Don't know how to feel about this one. It's the first ever magazine I've purchased as well. I normally just stick to cards, so this is like a new venture for me, a new venture for this channel as well. Maybe a new venture for you if you're watching this. Maybe this is your first exposure to magazine collecting as well. So we'll just, unbox it together and we'll go through the motion together. Is that going to be... The box is really big though. I don't think it needed to be this big. As you can see, it's like taking up the whole camera. I'm having to like chop my head off here. Oh, there's a lot of padding. Here it is. I can see it. It is wrapped up in bubble wrap. Is anything else? Just an empty box. So we'll get rid of that box there, and here we go. it is inside here. I can't believe we've actually gone through with this and found the magazine, found the iconic Playboy magazine and purchased it. Bit of a achievement, I think. Bit of a historical moment today. Smells very fresh like bubble wrap. And here it is. I'll let you guys have the first look. There you go. That is the 1953 Marilyn Monroe V1 Playboy magazine. And you know what? This magazine is massive. I don't know why. I didn't think it'd be this big, but it is a very big magazine. This is the first ever time I've held like a graded magazine as well. It feels a bit weird. They're not as like sturdy as graded cards, but damn, there it is. I'll give you another look of it. There you have it. First issue stamped right there. No date on the front. Marilyn Monroe right there. As you can see, it's a CGC 0.5, and yeah, it is a big magazine. I think we might have to put this one on the background. I might get a little stand for it. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe and let me know your thoughts in the comments, what you think about this magazine right here. Was it a good buy? Did I just waste $1,000, or is it an investment piece for the future? That's what I want to know. Your opinions down below.